afternoon, students. Students, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Beneficial, sir.
Yeah, okay, right. Okay, students, as usual, the same criteria what we following before going to uh, discuss discussion about today's concept. You have to unmute your videos once, then you'll move to our discussion. Please, everyone, unmute your videos. Students, unmute your videos. Unmute your videos once. Please, everyone, open up your videos once, then we'll move to today's discussion. Please, others also unmute your videos once. Yeah, right. All right. So, can you give me 1 or 2 points what we discussed in our last class? లాస్ట్ క్లాస్ లో మనం చెప్పుకునే ఏమన్నా 1-2 పాయింట్లు చెప్పగలరా?
About the
చెప్పండి.
downfall of Harappa civilization, sir.
వెరీ గుడ్.
ఇంకా
ఎనీ అదర్?
హరప్ప నాగరికత ఎలా అంతమైంది?
ఓకే. అందులో ఏం చెప్పుకున్నాం? ఎలా అంతమైందని చెప్పుకున్నాం?
ఆర్యుల రాకతో
అంటే శాస్త్రవేత్తలు హరప్ప నాగరికత ఏ విధంగా అంతమైందో చెప్పారు సార్.
గుడ్.
అంటే సార్ సింధు నది తన దిశను మార్చుకోవడం వలన సింధు నాగరికత అంతమైందని.
భూకంపాల వలన.
yes, right. Thank you very much.
ప్రకృతి వైపరీత్యాలు.
Right. So those are the things we completed in our last class, right? So in the same module, in the last module, we have the two civilizations. One is the Indus Valley and next one is the Chinese civilization. Okay, so within the same module, we have to complete these two civilizations, right? So in the last class, the concepts we discussed in the last class, which is the end of the Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so before this completion of this downfall of Mughal Empire and reasons or factors which led to downfall of Mughal Empire, Indus Valley civilization. And before that we covered many things, right? From the town planning and social conditions and economical aspects, cultural aspects, and finally religious aspects, and finally we completed the downfall of Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so these are the various concepts we completed in the Indus Valley civilization, so that it's the end of the Indus Valley. Then we'll move to the Chinese civilization today. Okay, today we have a general discussion or general explanation over the Chinese civilization. Okay, so Chinese civilization, which was one of the important civilization in the world. Okay, along with the other civilizations like the Indus Valley, Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, Rome. Okay, so along with other civilizations in the world, the Chinese civilization also one of the great civilization which flourished in the territories of these Chinese uh, area. Okay, so territories of the China, right? So when you see any comparison between the Indus and Chinese civilization, there are certain similarities you find, and you also find certain contrast. Okay, contrast in the sense some distinguished features also you find. Okay, so when you see the similar conditions, both are flourished in the same subcontinent, flourished in a same unified climatic regions. Okay, and when you see other things also, okay, where the society, where certain divisions in society you find in the Indus Valley, and somewhat different divisions also you find in this Chinese civilization. When you see the religions, like the religions, when you see in the Indus Valley or Indian culture. Okay, so like Jainism and Buddhism, you find certain important religions you are aware in the Indian civilizations, basically. Okay, not in the Indus Valley, but those both religions which flourish are started in India in part and parcel of Indian culture. Uh, okay, so in the same way, the same type of religions you find in the Chinese civilization also, like the Confucianism, Laoism. Both are the important civilizations which developed in the area of China, in the regions of ancient China. Okay, so and apart from these, you can also find certain political similarities. Okay, so when you see the administrative system in the Indus Valley and Aryan, and after the Aryan culture, you find a imperial kingdom you start, like the Magadha, which is in the same grounds of Magadha, the Mauryan dynasty has started. Okay, so in the same way, you also find the important dynasties in the Chinese civilization. Okay, like Hun and Chiyu, like dynasties you find in the Chinese civilization also. Okay, so in the same way, a systematic administration also find in the Chinese civilization, like the Indian civilization also you find. Okay, so these are certain important similar aspects you find between the Indus or Indian civilization with the Chinese civilization. Okay, so before going to other things, as usual, like other civilizations which we discussed, in the same way, the Chinese civilization also we're going to see according to various aspects. Okay, so from the geographical location, then the sources, then we'll move to the society, then we'll move to economical aspects, then we'll move to uh, any political development you find, any dynastic rule you find, and then we'll move to religion, art and architecture, and also the scientific contribution. Finally, downfall. Okay, so these are the similar concepts of every civilization you are going to see. Okay, so in the same way, in the Chinese civilization also, we'll see certain concepts. And before going to these concepts, I have to give a general introduction on the Chinese civilization. And before going to this Chinese civilization, general description, I have to share my screen. I will share one or two slides on this Chinese civilization, and then I'll uh, give you a general description. Okay. So, dear students, before that, I will share my screen first of all. Okay, right? So this is the slide which is about rivers, soils. This is totally about China's geography. And I will also show you the map, the geographical map of China and all those things. And before that, I have to give you certain general introduction over this Chinese civilization. Okay. So, and before that, I will give you one or two similar aspects between the ancient India and China. Okay, so ancient China and ancient India are both important and interesting ancient civilizations which flourished in world. Okay, so along with other civilizations, right? So ancient China and India both consider religions to be very important. Okay, so the main religions of China were Confucianism, Taoism, and other one or two religions you find. Okay, so and the central religions in India were the Hinduism and Buddhism and Jainism also you find. And both ancient China and India had religious teachers that invented these prevalent religions. And Confucius invented Confucianism, and Lao Tzu invented Taoism. And in the same way, India also you find by the contribution of Gautam Buddha, you find the Buddhism, and due to the contribution of Jaina Mahavira, Jainism has started. Likewise, like due to the contribution of these various philosophers, okay, their religious aspects and their religious ideology later turned into the various religions. Okay, so those religions also like a revolutionary religions. Okay, so in the Indian context, when you see in that Indian context, where there is an existing religion you find, and by opposing that religion, the revolutionary religions like the Hinduism and Jainism, which came into or existed due to the contribution of these two important philosophers. Okay, so and challenged the existing religion. In the same way, in the Chinese religion, Chinese civilization also you find like Confucianism, Taoism, and both are the important religions you find in the Chinese context. Okay, so and Chinese context, and due to both of these civilizations, religious beliefs, and they emphasize their devotion to their respected religion by creating art based on the belief and religion. Okay, so this evident where in China they created Confucian temples, Confucian temples all over China, and they also created paintings and sculptures and representing Confucianism. While India, they also built holy temples and statues of worship. In the same way, you find various temples for Jainism and Buddhism. Okay, so and the economy in both civilizations were important to their survival, and India's population were made up of the mainly the cultivators are the people who are dependent on the agriculture, and the main here also you find certain similar crops grown in these both civilizations. Okay, so in Indus Valley and Indian civilization you find wheat, barley are the two important crops which grown. In the same way is you find the two important crops in the Chinese civilization also. Okay, so ancient India, uh, you have certain division in the society. Okay, so in the same way, the same division, not exact the same division, but you find certain division in the society of Chinese civilization also. Okay, so like the landlords and agricultural labor, and like a small peasants, like a division you find in the Chinese civilization. Okay, so likewise, In ancient China, you find certain dynastic rule with certain section of the people who may call as a rulers. Okay, so like the India, you better to say as the Kshatriyas as a ruling class. Okay, so in the same way, you find certain nobles and ruling class in the Chinese civilization also. Okay, so and which is having the highest ranking in the Chinese social structure. Okay, so and you also find largest class of workers taking care of the land and some in sometimes they also working in the landlord's house like a form of serf. Okay, so we cannot say these are the slaves, but these are like a bonded labor. Okay, so and you also find certain revolt which broke out in Chinese civilization, and one or two important revolts you may see who against landlords in the Chinese civilization. Okay, so like certain similar things you find in both India and Chinese civilization. And I will give you a small introduction before that, before going to geographical aspects. And China is an East Asian country with a large territory, a huge population, and ancient and having an ancient history. Okay, so within the records dating back to 4,000 years, it is recognized as one of the four great ancient civilizations of the world, together with ancient Egypt, Babylon, nothing but the Mesopotamia and India. Okay, so moreover, it is the only ancient civilization that has continued till. Okay, so no and see in between, or you don't see a break between the ancient Chinese civilization and present day society. It's a continuous civilization you find in the world. Okay, so from the 4,000 years back to till still the society is no break within it. Okay, so and China was one of the cradles of the human race, and the Chinese nation is not only the most important civilization having the huge population, also one of the oldest civilization in the world. Okay, so and you find various fossils and remains that have been found in Chinese territory in various Chinese sites, include those as like a humanu man, like a Homo erectus or Homo sapien, who lived in 1.7 million years ago. Okay, so like a Homo sapien and Homo erectus, a form of human body, human structure, who lived in the territories of this Chinese civilization before 1.7 million years ago. Okay, so when you see the human structure in the Chinese territories, it's better to call as a Peking man. Peking man who lived at Zhoukadian in today's area, which is nearby Beijing. Okay, so nearly 6 lakhs years ago, the Peking man who appeared in the Chinese territories. Okay, so and the fossils of shoe ape, a primate that lived in 45 million ago, and which is known as the first anthropoid which discovered in China in 1994. Okay, so and the first light of Chinese civilization revealed itself between the 7,000 to 8,000 years ago, as indicated by ruins of Daxi culture in Chiasen and Hubei provinces. And when you see, you also find in other provinces like Majia Peng culture and Jiangsu and Jiang provinces also. Okay, so the Hemudu culture in eastern Jiang and the Yangtze culture along with middle of the Yellow River and its tributaries. Okay, so like you find the various cultures, like in India, you find the Aryan culture and Dravidian culture like that. Likewise, you find the certain these cultures in the Chinese civilization. Okay, so when you see, according to certain legends of ancient China and the primitive tribes that inhabited the middle and upper reaches of the Yellow River were unified into two powerful tribes under the Yellow Emperor, Yellow Empire, and began their push southward 5,000 years ago.
సార్
Okay. చెప్పండి.
సార్ మీరు చెప్పే స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేయండి సార్, కొంచెం రాసుకుంటా.
స్క్రీన్ షేర్
ఇప్పుడు మీరు చెప్పేది స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేయండి సార్. వేరేది ఇంతకు ముందు చెప్పిందే వస్తుంది కదా.
ఏమొస్తుంది?
చైనాస్ జాగ్రఫీ, రివర్స్, సాయిల్స్, క్లైమేట్స్ అది వస్తుంది సార్.
అవును, నేను ఇంకా స్టార్ట్ చేయలే కదా చైనీస్ జాగ్రఫీ అని. నేను జస్ట్
కాదు సార్, ఇప్పుడు ఇది అయిపోయింది కదా సార్, మీరు ఇప్పుడు చెప్పేది స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేయమంటున్నా సార్.
స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, ఆల్రెడీ నేను మీకు గ్రూప్ లో పోస్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను మెటీరియల్ కూడా.
ఓకే సార్, ఓకే.
సో యు ఆర్ నాట్ ఎట్ గోయింగ్ త్రూ యువర్ గ్రూప్, రైట్? ఓకే, గ్రూప్ లో అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తున్నావా?
చేస్తున్నా సార్. ఓకే,
మరి గ్రూప్ లో పోస్ట్ చేస్తున్నా కదా మెటీరియల్ కూడా.
ఓకే ఓకే సార్.
ఇట్ ఈస్ ఓన్లీ ద షేరింగ్ ఆఫ్ స్క్రీన్ ఓన్లీ ఫర్ సర్టైన్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్. ఓకే, సో జనరల్గా ఏంటంటే స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేసేటప్పుడు అన్ని ఏదైతే ఏది చెప్తున్నావో ప్రతి ఒక్కటి షేర్ చేయలేదు, ప్రతి ఒక్కటి మీకు స్క్రీన్ మీద చూపించలేదు. సో ఏం చూపిస్తాం? ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్ మాత్రమే చూపిస్తాం. ఓకే, సో గ్రూప్లో ఏం చేస్తున్నాం? గ్రూప్లో ఆల్రెడీ మెటీరియల్ పోస్ట్ చేస్తాం, రైట్? మీకు ఏదైతే నేను మెటీరియల్ చెప్తున్నానో ఆ మెటీరియల్ ఆల్రెడీ మీకు గ్రూప్లో పోస్ట్ చేస్తాం, రైట్? సో ఇది ఓన్లీ మీ ఐడియా కోసం మాత్రమే ఏదైతే స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేస్తున్నాను అనమాట. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఈస్ ఏ జనరల్ ఇంట్రడక్షన్ ఓవర్ the Chinese civilization, and when you see other things like archaeological studies have which reveal the Yaktu civilization, which is started before 5,000 years ago. Okay, so here in the same concepts you find in certain similar concepts you find in other civilizations, like where the society may be a patriarchal or matriarchal society. Here, when you see in the Chinese civilization, you find a general patriarchal society. Okay, so not only did village begin to appear, but also initial form of Chinese cities began to be evident. Okay, so along with the rural society, you also find certain important towns and cities also. Okay, so and extensive communities indicated that the population at the time had already reached a fairly large size, and agriculture had made great headway. Okay, so at present in the world you find the largest population in the world. Okay, so in the same way, this Chinese civilization, the Chinese ancient civilization also, you find the largest population at that time. Okay, so when you compare to other civilizations, you find the largest population in ancient Chinese civilization. Okay, so likewise, there are certain important aspects you find in the ancient Chinese civilization. Okay, so and there are certain important scientific contributions also from the Chinese civilization, like the invention of the compass, and which help to move from one place to another on the sea, on water bodies. And there is appearance of the chariots, which greatly reduced the traveling time when they are moving from one place to, or the long distances. Okay, so and you also know there is certain contribution of the silk from which is the silk making by raising silkworms, also great contribution from this Chinese civilization. And due to this silk, they also produced certain garments with this silk. Okay, so the silk garments you firstly find in the Chinese civilization itself. Okay, so not only this, there are other important contributions like kite, one of the important contribution of Chinese civilization, and chai, which is a tea present day, each and everyone knows it. Okay, so it is also a great contribution of Chinese civilization. Okay, and not only this, and there is seismograph, one of the important instrument to which you measure the intensity of earthquake, also a contribution of the Chinese civilizations. Okay, so not only those, and you also find various important contributions from Chinese civilization is the porcelain, one of the important making utensils making, also a great contribution of Chinese civilization, and metallurgical works, making of various vessels, and all these are the great contribution of Chinese civilizations. Okay, so all you can see these, we're going to see all these things in a orderly, one by one. Okay, so when you see about this geography, when every civilization, before going to know every civilization, first of all we'll see the geographical location, and then we'll move to their society or other things. Okay, so here in the context of this ancient Chinese civilization also, we'll see first of all the geographical location. Okay, so the geographical location, basically China is a vast country with a huge range of terrain and climates within it, and mountains, deserts, and coastlands, and all the and also the great river systems like the Yellow River, which is flowing to the north, and the Yangtze towards the south. Okay, so these are the important river systems also you find. Okay, so one of the important river system in the Chinese civilization is the Yellow River. Okay, so when you see the Yellow River hinterland, or the region of the Yellow River, the Chinese civilization basically, which is firstly developed in the region of Yellow River, and now Yellow River, you are well aware that which is flowing in the northern part of China. Okay, so this is the Chinese geographical view. Okay, so where you find in the northern part, which is the Gobi Desert, and also the Yellow River, which is just below the Gobi Desert, you find. Okay, so and in the northern, in the southern part, you find Brahmaputra River and Tibetan Plateau. Okay, so likewise, this is a important geographical location of this ancient China. Okay, so the Chinese, basically the ancient China, the ancient China, ancient Chinese times when you see. Okay, so where you find a number of rivers along with this Yellow River. Okay, so like Huanghe and Yangtze. Okay, so these are the important rivers you find, and these important rivers which providing a great alluvial soil, the alluvial soils which gives them a suitable soil for growing crops every year, and also these rivers also providing abundance of water, and due to the abundance of water and the perennial source of water, they grown these crops very easily without any making any uh, without making a or using any strongest instrument or like that. Okay, so here when you see in the Yangtze Valley region, to the south, the Great Yangtze Valley, you find its warm, wet climate was the first area in the world where rice was grown. Okay, so rice also they are aware. Okay, apart from along with this wheat, barley, silk, they also grow sometimes the rice. Okay, so and rice is one of the important most important crop they also followed. Okay, so and Angzhe region remain outside the Chinese culture area. Okay, however, from the 7000 BC onwards, various kingdoms and rulers who began to grab the land, and gradually it comes under the Chinese territories. Okay, Chinese civilization. Okay, so when you see in the southern part basically, and the Chinese only expanded into the mountains and coastal lands of southern China, and in the later ancient part, and after the rest of China had been unified under the rule of various emperors. Okay, so it remained a largely frontier region until the later kingdoms. Okay, so when you see the Asian part, Central Asian part in the sense above this Gobi desert and around this western part, where uh, the steppes of Central Asia, which is also a northern border, northwest border of this Chinese civilization. Okay, so to the north and west of the Yellow River region were the wide plains of Central Asia, and the landscape where is generally unsuitable for farming, and people have most followed nomadic way of life as herders of cattle, sheep, and horse. Okay, so northern part, which is not suitable for the climate because you find certain uneven terrain. Okay, so and many scholars scholars believe that various cultural influence traveled along with on the northwestern part in ancient times. Okay, so and the people of steppe region were the tough warriors, and they mobility that their nomadic lifestyle gave them enabled them to raid swiftly into territory populated by more settled farming populations on the western, northwestern, and northern part, where and this is also a part you find very near to the near to somewhat Siberian region. Okay, very cold. You find very cold climate, and in this region, these rivers which you find were those are in form of ice only. Okay, so in the summer, very one or in 1 or 2 months only you see these water in the liquid form. Okay, so remaining in remaining times, it the those rivers you may see in form of the ice. Okay, so and when you see certain origins of ancient China, and we have only the 5 minutes of the time, and before that we'll see some points regarding the origins of China. Okay, so and uh, Okay, so and when you see the according to legends of ancient China and the Qi dynasty. Okay, so the Qi dynasty is the first dynasty in India, sorry, in China to be described an ancient Chinese dynasty which started in the regions of ancient China. Okay, so and according to the records of these various historians, they say that the founder of Chia dynasty was the Juanju. Juanju is one of the legendary and who was one of the ruler among the five emperors who better to say that who were the first rulers of ancient China. Okay, so you was successful in stopping devastating floods and increasing the yields from the farming. And the Xia. Okay, so Gia's tribe influence strengthened, and this is Chia is Chi is one of the first tribe or one of the first dynasty which started ruling in China basically. Okay, so and after that the Chun, which is one of the dynasty of the five emperors. Okay, so was he was sorry, Chun was one of the emperor of last emperor of these five emperors who was getting old and abdicated the throne in favor of you. Okay, so whom he deemed to worthy and used succession as the king marked the start of Jia dynasty. Okay, so and when you see these are the uh, the first emperor which started its ruling, and you have another four important dynasties which is started ruling after this Qi dynasty, and Qin were the another important dynasties which started ruling this ancient Chinese civilization. Okay, so and when you see certain archaeological sources, um, like okay, so the archaeological evidences, which is when you see various exhibitions have started, exhibitions has taken place, and unearthed number of artifacts and number of remains in the region of ancient China, and when you see the literary, before going to these literary evidences, we'll see certain important things which you see which unearthed in the Chinese regions. Okay, so basically, major stone is farming cultures had been growing up in the China since the 7th millennium BC, and one of the civilization which located Yellow